This evening, the opposition PPPC is preparing to choose their next presidential candidate. Authorities identified body found at number 63 beach. CH&PA hosts staff meeting. In the region, Venezuela increases minimum wage. And internationally, artwork criticizing capitalism sparks protests in Israel. Greetings to our viewers in Guyana and around the world. Today is Tuesday, January the 15th, 2019, and this edition of Headline News is now being streamed live on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you for joining us. The body of a Surinamese businessman was found on number 63 beach in Berbice on Monday. However, Esther Sobers tells us that his suspected murder may have been drug-related.
The body of a Surinamese businessman was reportedly found at the number 63 beach. The man has been identified as Nitendar Omishwar Singh. He was the owner of a rice company near Nikeri, Suriname. Surinamese police issued a wanted bulletin a week ago for the businessman in connection to a shipment of rice that contained more than 5,000 pounds of cocaine. The shipment was intercepted at a dock in Suriname as it was being prepared for export to France. On Monday, the Guyana Police Force issued a statement about the discovery of the body at the number 63 beach quarantine. His lawyer confirmed that shortly after the news of the man's death circulated online, the body was identified by family members and friends in Suriname. Some believe that Omishwar Singh may have been hiding in Guyana and possibly killed by Suriname drug gangs as prior to the discovery. He has not been seen since January 10th. For Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. President David Granger is scheduled to leave today for Cuba for another round of chemotherapy at the Centro Investigaciones Médico-Quirúrgicas in Havana, Cuba. This is his fourth visit for cancer treatment since November 2018, when he was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin lymphoma. The head of state is expected to spend 1 week in Cuba. In an effort to increase the effectiveness of the agency, the Central Housing and Planning Authority recently held a staff meeting to discuss matters of concern. Here's Wendell Jeffrey with more.
Minister of Communities Ronald Balkan met with his team at the ministry's annual senior staff conference at the Impeccable Banquet Hall yesterday. The minister took time to relitigate the legitimacy of his government's legality. He took the audience in a ball-by-ball account on what happened on December 21st. Balkan said that the speaker admitted that while he can review his ruling, he has outsourced the decision to the courts to make that final call. The housing minister said that in the interim, his government remains legally and substantially in the driver's seat of the country.
I, in the capacity that I'm currently acting, I'm not acting unlawfully. Neither is the president.
Balkan advised the senior members of the Central Housing and Planning Authority to not be distracted by what others are saying, but to remain focused on their professional responsibilities and duties. The 2019 allocated funds for the Ministry of Communities is $10.9 billion, monies that the minister said will be used to continue the development of all Guyana. The minister said that the focus of the 2019 budget is to expand and improve participation, improve sanitation management infrastructure, improve and expand water distribution and the delivery of housing units, as well as the sustainable consolidation of housing schemes. Of the $10.9 billion, initially, $124 million will be used for the Local Government Commission, while subventions for the municipalities will benefit from another $210 million. For Channel 2 Headline News, Wendell Jeffrey.
Thanks, Wendell. Don't go away. Coming up after the break, PPPC to select presidential candidate. But first, here are today's foreign currency exchange rates. For the latest in news from Guyana, the region, and beyond, visit our website, headlinenewsguyana.com.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go. Welcome back. The Regional Democratic Council of Region 10 is preparing to introduce hot meals in schools in isolated communities throughout the region. As such, they are recruiting farmers to supply fresh produce for the program. The Hot Meal program aims to replace the traditional juice and biscuits which are being supplied to schools across the country. Regional Executive Officer Orrin Gordon related that the project has already been piloted in communities of Rockstone and Kumaka, as well as for students journeying to Linden from the farming community of Dalawala, located up the Demerara River. The meals are prepared with fresh ingredients produced right in the communities. The move is not only a gravitation towards healthier consumption, but creates employment not only for the farmers, but those responsible for preparing the meals as well. Gordon noted that the plan is to have it replicated in the rest of the region, especially in the communities located in Sub-Region 2, such as those located along the Berbice River. While the Department of Education Region 10 is awaiting permission for the project to be expanded from the central government, Gordon noted that the RDC is currently conducting feasibility studies to ensure that all systems are in place for effective delivery of the Hot Meal project. The People's Progressive Party Civic will soon select their presidential candidate for the upcoming general elections. While the date has yet to be announced, Wendell Jeffrey tells us that many party supporters already have their hearts set on one particular candidate.
An online article trending suggests that despite the news that Orphan Ali might have presented fake undergraduate credentials to obtain his master's degree, he is still ahead of the representative votes of the closed-door PPP Central Executive Committee meeting that is ongoing. Reports are that Ali obtained his master's degree from the Guru Gobind Singh Indra Parasata University of India after having presented a first degree from a university in Guyana that never existed. The degree he is said to have acquired in Guyana is in business management, and his master's degree from the Indian University is in human resource planning development. The former PPP minister and current member of parliament released several documents that all seemed credible, all attesting to his formal and informal academic attainments. Ali also produced a recent letter from the University of the West Indies, which acknowledged that he has submitted a doctoral dissertation and that he is awaiting the results of a review. Notwithstanding, the viral Facebook post suggests that Ali is ahead of the initial votes for the PPP's presidential candidate by double digits to the nearest contestant. Channel 2 Headline News tried to speak to Ali and the party's General Secretary Bara Jagdeo, but to no avail. However, a senior member of the party and a current member of parliament told us that there were no votes cast as yet. The PPP stalwart, who is not a member of the current central executive, said that all that has transpired in the election process so far is that the 5 contestants have presented, but no decisions on any of the presentations were made. The party's General Secretary Jagdeo had said that the voting for the party's presidential candidate by the Central Executive Committee will be by secret ballot. For Channel 2 Headline News, Wendell Jeffrey.
Thanks, Wendell. The Child Care and Protection Agency has been focused on improving literacy in children of all ages, and to further this concept, it has launched the Back to Basics Toddlers Reading Program in all 10 administrative regions. The agency's director, Ann Green, said, quote, "Children learn to read on the laps of their parents. It is going back to basics to allow children to get the love for books, and it starts very early," end quote. The Back to Basics Toddlers Reading Program is an interagency collaboration with the Child Care and Protection Agency, Public Health Ministry, and the National Library. Green explained that officers of the CPA visited with and encouraged parents to read to their children as they thrive to implement the program, saying, quote, "We attended the children maternal clinics to encourage parents to read to their children. We launched this program in all 10 regions and some interior locations," end quote. The program is aimed at promoting early reading for children from birth to 3 years of age. The director further explained that the agency supplied some of the books for the program while others were donated. This was to ensure that each toddler gets a book. The Back to Basics Toddlers Reading Program is expected to be established at over 300 health centers and 360 child care facilities across the country. The child care centers will also be required to establish a library or reading corner for the children. Don't go away. Coming up after the break, Venezuela increases its minimum wage, and artwork criticizing capitalism sparks protests in Israel. But before that, here's this week's Bridge Attraction schedule.
place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go. Welcome back. Now we take a look at news from the region. Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro has increased the minimum wage as part of a series of measures to boost the country's crippled economy. He's under growing pressure to step down after countries in the region denounced his second term as illegitimate. Al Jazeera's Teresa Bo reports from Caracas.
The hospital of the University of Caracas was once one of the best, not just in Venezuela, but in Latin America. But matters have deteriorated dramatically in the recent years, as institutions and people deal with the impact of the ongoing economic crisis. Cruz Moreno is 80 years old and fell in the subway. She says she is barely getting any food.
There is nothing here, nothing. Look at what we are being fed. It's cold and I don't want to eat it. But what am I going to do?
Also in the room, there are patients who've suffered heart attacks and strokes, others being treated for gunshot wounds.
Employees from the hospital allowed us to come here to this emergency room to see the situation on the ground. They say that they need medicines, food for the patients that you can see here.
Last weekend, electricity in the hospital went out for several hours. At least 2 patients died during that time. Staff say the toll may be in fact higher.
They said there were 5 and then 7 who died. There are 12 bodies in the morgue and we are trying to find out when they died. We have been telling the government that the generators were broken for months and nobody heard us.
Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro blamed the blackout on the opposition, describing it as a terrorist act. With infrastructure failing, empty shelves and shortages of even the most basic drugs, President Maduro announced his latest economic recovery plan. He told the country's Constituent Assembly that it was aimed at ending what he's described as an economic war.
The national minimum wage is going to be in half a petro and 18,000 bolivars for the working class.
A 300% increase. He also pledged to distribute food supplies every 15 days and said the country had now enough money to cultivate at least 3 million hectares of crops. But many believe he's being unrealistic.
No matter what you do, 2019 is going to be a year with brutal hyperinflation, and the government's response is primitive because they are afraid of the potential costs of reducing public spending.
In hospitals and on the streets, it's the people of Venezuela who are paying the price of an economic crisis which has left a country virtually bankrupt and unable to help those in desperate need. Teresa Bo, Al Jazeera, Caracas.
And in international news, a sculpture on display at a museum in northern Israel featuring a crucified Ronald McDonald, the primary mascot of McDonald's, has led to protests by the country's Christian minority. The artist who created the controversial artwork says the museum used it without his permission. In reply, the museum says it supports the freedom of expression. Al Jazeera's Laura Burdon Manley has more.
This is the sculpture that's caused so much outrage. Entitled McJesus, it displays a fast food outlet's famous mascot hanging from a cross, an important symbol in Christianity. Haifa Museum has added a disclaimer that it's not meant to cause offence, but it has. On Friday, hundreds of protesters faced off with the police on the streets as they attempted to force their way into the museum to remove it themselves. Others are camping outside until the work is taken down.
This is something I kneel for. I redeem it with my soul. I offer it with all the good things. And what do you expect? I first of all felt that this is a big insult, a big insult. I hope that everyone will stand with us in solidarity.
The heads of churches across Israel are seeking a court order to have the sculpture removed.
We started with the heads of the churches. A petition was offered to the judiciary to remove it. We will continue through peaceful rallies and vigils with the churches, the museum and the municipality. We won't be quiet until we reach a solution.
We need to understand that freedom of expression is interpreted in different ways in different societies. We live today in Israel. If this work was directed against non-Christians, the world would be turned upside down.
It's not only the Christian community that's angry, but the artist himself. He asked the museum not to use his work in September when he joined the boycott, divestment and sanctions of Israel. He told Israeli media that Israel uses culture as a form of propaganda to whitewash the occupation. But the director of the museum says he's defending the freedom of art, culture and speech.
We fully understand the hurt feeling of the Christians here, but we have to explain to them that this wasn't the meaning, and we are sorry that they are offended by this work.
The Christian population makes up just 2% of Israel, and people in the community say it's a daily struggle to freely practice their culture and religion. They say the work was put up against their will, and due to their minority status, their concerns are being ignored. Laura Burden Manley, Al Jazeera.
Here's your 3-day weather forecast. And that's Channel 2 Headline News for this Tuesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Channel 2 Headline News on Facebook, YouTube, and our website headlinenewsguyana.com. You can also tune in 6:30 tomorrow morning for a rebroadcast and Wednesday evening at 7 for more news. For now, I'm George Gonzalez, signing out from this newscast saying thank you for welcoming us into your home and do have a blessed evening.